Welcome. I am Sister Who. Today I just wanted to consider one of the questions from the introduction to this television show. The basic focus of Sister Who Presents is to deal with the questions of life. One of the questions illustrated within the introduction is the question word who. Simple little three-letter word, W-H-O, but what does it really mean? And how often do we really think about what we mean when we use it? In becoming more aware of things like that, not that we need to obsess about them, but to look at the question enough that we might be able to get more from it, so that we can live life in a more conscious, a more empowered sort of way, that we can take advantage of the opportunities more because we understand more about them and what they mean. And we can make better use of the moments and the interactions that come along. The obvious place, to me I guess, to start with the question word who is looking in the mirror. Who is the person looking back at me, and do I really know? Superficially, it's easy to say, when someone says, "Who are you?" to simply give your name. Am I my name, however? Or am I more than my name? Actually, the name is just a combination of letters and sounds that refers to me, but it doesn't contain all of who and what I am. I can write my name on a piece of paper, and unless you know who I am, it will mean absolutely nothing. It would be just a name on a piece of paper. If you know who I am, and I write it there, then when you read that or you hear my name called, you think of me and there's a relationship going on. In looking at the face in the mirror and saying my name to that reflection, it still only scratches the surface of who and what I am. Because what those sounds and letters refer, the person to whom those sounds and letters refer is constantly growing and changing throughout life. If you ask me, who are you? The way I would answer that question, the way I would have answered that question when I was in college or when I was in high school, is quite different from the way I would have answered that question if you were to ask me it last week. The question in terms of self-awareness and personal growth would be, what are those qualities or activities, what are the things that I use to identify me that most symbolize who and what I am? In some cases, people use their occupation, what they do for a living. I say for a living because in some cases the occupation a person does isn't actually generating enough money to live on the amount that they're making. But it's someone's job. But am I my job? If I am my job, when I stop doing my job, I have no identity. If my identity is based on doing that job, I am the one who builds houses. As soon as I stop building houses, I am nothing. I would say you're still a person. You're simply a person who may build houses, who may cook, who may jog, who may create something, who may sing, who may talk, who may sleep at night. A person who may do any one of these things. It's what somebody once told me, to be a human being, not a human doing. Problem with, if you are what you do, when you don't, you're not. When you stop doing it, you cease to exist. Which is why so many people, when they get to the age of retirement, suddenly have to go through this major redefinition and shift. They've been doing this activity for years, and suddenly one morning they wake up and they're not doing it anymore. And their very identity has become so integrated with that activity that without it, they don't know who they are. My recommendation as Sister Who is that we put our identities inside of us, but that identity inside of us be this wonderful multidimensional thing, so that even if we took our heart, our mind, our spirit, and put it in a completely different body, we could still recognize ourselves. it's a particular combination of things we enjoy, things we prefer, choices we make, ways that our mind works, ways that we make decisions. Another way people answer the question, who, is by what they own. Houses, cars, like the Bugs Bunny cartoon. Who are you? I'm Elmer J. Fudd, millionaire. I own a mansion and a yacht. If you take away the mansion and the yacht, does Elmer Fudd still know who he is? Or is his identity so enmeshed in that role of ownership of these material objects that without them he doesn't know who he is? I am a person who has brown hair. Well, if I dye my hair, does that mean I'm no longer who I am? In some cases, maybe people would feel that way. If they do, I would say you need to dig deeper, because underneath that, when you take away your hair color, your body type, your gender, even your orientation, when you take away religious habits, underneath all of it, there's some combination of feelings and thoughts and ways of dealing with life that is unique and wonderfully just you.